All right, welcome to Workshop Wednesdays. Today we are going to make a pen, just like this one, from the blanks that Jason made in the previous episode. So let's get started. All right, so we got one of these pen kits from Penn State. This is the Fun Line kit. It's like the Slim Line, just a little bit cheaper. Really cool kits to make just everyday pens with. So the first thing we need to do is we need to make sure and mark. These are the same size, so we can just use one. We want to mark spots so that we can cut them. One of the things is you get, when you make these yourselves, you get some shrinkage here, so it kind of shrinks down. So you want to make sure you give that a little bit extra room. We're going to be using the barrel trimmer to trim that up anyway. So just do a real rough mark there, and then a real rough mark right about there. And then we're going to take this over to the chop saw and cut those off. Alright, next we need to drill our holes for the tubes to sit in. So with my setup, everybody's setup's a little bit different. Drill presses work. For my setup, since I don't have a drill press, I just kind of put it in the chuck here, line this up to relatively center, and then I tighten down the chuck. Let's just make sure that it doesn't move around while I'm tightening it down. From here, I just go from the lowest speed, make sure everything's locked down first, and then we just go on the lowest speed, and you got to do it nice and slow so that it doesn't heat up too much, otherwise it warps the acrylic. Now that we have our two blanks drilled, we need to put the tubes in there, but sometimes when you get these pen kits, this is already done for you, but this time it isn't. We need to rough up the tube so that it has more friction, I guess, for the glue to adhere to. So with that, I just take some high grit sandpaper or low grit sandpaper, like 60 grit. Just kind of twist it around a little bit, move it around in there, just so that it's not nice and smooth. That'll make the glue actually stick better and grab onto it better. So from here, now that it's all nice and roughed up, we can actually use the glue. It's usually better to use gloves. I don't. So I use the medium CA just because it's a little more solid, I guess I would say. When you use the thin, it tends to be more like water, so it rolls off and then you're gluing yourself to the board and it's not good times. So now we put this in. We want to make sure it goes down just a little bit. There we go. Now tube's glued in. Now we gotta glue on the next one, and then we play the waiting game. So the next thing you have to do after you put the tube in there is you got to use the barrel trimmer, because the tube's kind of down in there and you want it to be flush. So what I use is I have this barrel trimmer I got from Rockler or Woodcraft, one of them, I don't know, and slide this in. I'll make sure it slides in first, just like what we did before with drilling the holes. You want to line it up first and then tighten it down. Alright, so the next step is now to put these on the mandrel. And in order to do that, we have these bushings that we use. It depends on the kit that you get. These are the slimline bushings, so they make sure they fit right in the right way and line up with the barrels the right way. So I'm just going to kind of put these on and then tighten it down. This one's the adjustable mandrel. If you don't have the adjustable mandrel, you actually have to put extra bushings on to make the space so that it stays tight. But this one's good to go. So now that that's in there nice and tight, we can just line everything up and start turning. Alright, so from here we're going to start doing our cuts. It's basically just turning it, cutting it with the tool. The tool that you use is, it's up to you really. Whatever you feel comfortable with, whatever works for whatever you're doing. I usually start with these slightly bigger ones depending on what I'm doing, and then just kind of working my way down. So we're going to start here on a fairly fast speed. About almost 1500 RPMs. And just kind of slide across. All right, so now that we got it turned down to the shape that we want, still got some tool marks, some bumps in there from the turning. So we want to go with a fairly rough grit. I'm going to start with 100 and work my way up to about 600, and then we'll just use the polishing pads for that. One of the things is you want to keep the speed pretty low, maybe the first 2 settings, because otherwise the sandpaper heats up and causes a burning sensation. All right, now that we finished all the way up to 600, the next step is to use the polishing pads, and they are just basically super high grit, so it eventually gets down to almost like you're polishing it with leather, so it gets the shine out really good. It gives it like that wet look to it. So next step is to move on with that, and we'll get set up and get started. All right, now that we finished up all the way to 12,000, it's nice and shiny. It's got that real nice wet look to it. It's really awesome when it comes to when you use this on the acrylic ones. It makes a fantastic finish. So next, what we have to do is we have to. I don't have a pen press, so again, I have to use my lathe. So we're going to set that up. I'm going to show you how to use the lathe to press the pens together and finish it up, and then we'll have a finished product. So first thing we need to do is we need to press the bottom piece completely together like that. So in order to do that, I got my little waste block, I guess, over here. I get it close, grab another block, tighten down, and then just kind of slowly push it together and guide it in as I push it in, as it goes together. There you go. Just like having a pen press. And then for this part, you really want to test your fit just to make sure everything fits perfect, because sometimes if you don't do it right, you won't come out far enough, and then you have to push it in a little bit more, and you got to do a little bit at a time just to make sure it fits. There we go. That worked pretty good. The final part in this kit, there's no more pressing. You just kind of slide the ring on, put in your ink, and slide the top on. And there you go. Alright guys, so this is the pen that we turned today. It came out really nice, and again, this blank is just a blank that Jason made in the previous video. So if you're ever interested in making your own pens, super unique pens like this, definitely look into making those pen blanks, because these turn out awesome. So that was about it. Thanks for watching. Just remember to like and subscribe. It really helps us out. We don't have a slogan still.